Frame, chess, and crosses. Welcome back to Sound of Siren. I'm Xavier.
I'm Dylan. Welcome back to another episode. Now, today we have a different episode. Zave called upon me and let me know he wanted to do something special. So, Zave, would you like to explain what we are doing today?
Today, we're going to do a bit of an awards show. We're going to go through our MVP, our Defensive Player of the Year, our Sixth Man of the Year, our Coach of the Year, our Most Improved Player, our Rookie of the Year, as well as our All NBA teams. And then I've got a bit of news, and Dylan's going to see which ones he wants to elaborate on and which ones he wants to skip past.
Absolutely. So, which one? I'm guessing we'll do. Would you like to work up to the MVP or should we just go bang?
We can work up to it.
Okay, cool. What's the first one you want to get into?
Who are your finalists for the Rookie of the Year, Dylan?
All right, so for the Rookie of the Year, I've got Ja Morant from the Memphis Grizzlies, I've got Zion Williamson from the Pelicans, and I've got Kendrick Nunn from the Miami Heat.
I've got Ja Morant, RJ Barrett, and Zion. I think obviously Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn as well could be in there. But my winner is going to be Ja Morant. I think the 8 games could really cost Zion. I think if the Pelicans had made it to the finals, to the playoffs, I would have had Zion winning the award. But obviously the 8 games are no longer going to count towards the awards. So I've got Ja winning.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with everything you just said. I've got Ja Morant as well. Came into the NBA draft, not very well known in college. I think he was a two-star recruit, but since then he's just improved and improved, and he's showed us what he's made of, and he can carry that Grizzlies side into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the award should probably be unanimous as well. Obviously, as I said, Zion hasn't played enough games, and RJ Barrett hasn't quite been on the same tier, as well as Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero. So
Mm.
I think it should be unanimous for Ja. Your most improved player finalist, then?
So for the most improved, I have Brandon Ingram from the Pelicans. I've got Devonte Graham for the Hornets, and I've got Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat. And my winner for the most improved is Bam Adebayo. I don't want to be biased, but I've watched all the Miami games this year, and his improvement is absolutely ridiculous. He went from 8 points a game up to 16, I believe, and his defense as well, which we'll get into a bit later. He's just a crucial player for that Miami Heat team.
Yeah, my finalists: Brandon Ingram, Bam Adebayo, and Jason Tatum. I think Devonte Graham as well as Luca have both improved a lot, but I think they're both sophomores, and in my opinion, you should be improving in your second season in the NBA. So I've gone with at least third-year players, and I think my winner is Brandon Ingram, but it's a bit of a coin toss between Bam and Ingram. I think obviously both of them all stars this year as well as Tatum, but both taken big jumps in their careers.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move on to the coach of the year. We'll go a different direction. Who are your finalists, Dave?
My finalists are Frank Vogel, Nick Nurse, and Eric Spoelstra. I think my winner is going to be Nick Nurse. I think I've had Eric Spoelstra all year, obviously doing things with the Heat that perhaps people wouldn't have imagined him doing. But Nick Nurse has his Raptors have one of the best records in the league. Even with Kawhi Leonard leaving, I don't think many people expected them to be as good as they are. And obviously Frank Vogel doing a lot of good things with the Lakers. Also shout out to, I think it's Billy Donovan, the OKC coach.
Yeah. So my three finalists, I've got Frank Vogel, I've got Eric Spoelstra, and I've got Taylor Jenkins for the Memphis Grizzlies. And my winner, I'd have to say, is Frank Vogel. Even though some people say, LeBron and AD carried him, I think there's more to it. Just the play style. As much as it is handy to have LeBron and Anthony Davis on your team, to go from 35 to 47 all the way up to almost 50 wins, I believe they're at the moment. Just great improvement and still more games to be played, obviously.
Yeah, I know before the start of the season, there was a lot of talk about the signing of Jason Kidd and how he will probably become the head coach in the years to come. But obviously, I think he's interviewed with the Knicks recently for their head coaching job, and Frank Vogel's obviously done a good job. Do you think in the future Jason Kidd will get the head job, or
I'm not too sure. At the
pause,
moment,
pause,
Vogel's holding it well together.
pause?
We'll ignore that. At the moment, Vogel's holding it well. just together, obviously, for that Lakers team. They all look like best mates, and they're all taking the absolute piss out of each other. So they get along well, and it shows on the floor. Their record unbelievable so far this year.
Who are your six man of the year finalists, Don?
Six man of the year, I've got Lou Williams, Dennis Schroeder, and Montrezl Harrell. Now, the winner for this one, it was really hard for me to pick, and I think with a little bit of confidence, but it's a tough one, and I think I've got to give it to Dennis Schroeder. Even though he's playing more minutes than Giannis this year, that OKC team wasn't even meant to make the playoffs, and him, Chris Paul, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, huge parts for that OKC team, and I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I've got the same three finalists as you: Montrezl, Lou Williams, and Dennis Schroeder. My winner though is Lou Williams. I think he leads the best bench team in the best bench unit, in my opinion, in the NBA. He's averaging 18.7 points, which is zero point 0.1 points more than Montrez, but 0.3 points less than Dennis Schroeder. I think Schroeder plays more minutes, but yeah, Lou Williams with his playmaking, his shooting, his scoring, and his closing ability off the bench, I think he gets the job just for me.
We'll move to the defensive player of the year. Sorry, it took me a second there. My three finalists, I've got Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Bam Adebayo. And my decoy for the 2019-2020 NBA season is Anthony Davis. I said before, LeBron, a huge hand for them, but AD holding his part well. And I think he's become a better defender than offensive player this year.
My three finalists are Anthony Davis, Giannis, and Ben Simmons. Before the year started, I had Joel Embiid. I was pretty confident that he was going to win it because I looked at that 76ers team and they have so much length, from Ben Simmons to Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, Joel Embiid, and then Matisse Thybulle off the bench. I thought they'd be the best defensive team, and I thought Joel Embiid would be the best defender on their team. But Ben Simmons has really stood up on the defensive end this year. He's leading the league in steals, I believe. And that's really impressive for someone that's 6'10" and can guard like 1 through 5. But in saying all of that, I think Anthony Davis is my defensive player of the year. And I think Giannis will probably come second. There's been a lot of talk that Giannis might win it, but I think his team as a whole is a very good defensive team. Obviously, their team's putting up ridiculous numbers, but I think Brook Lopez has been really good for them. And he's probably on the same tier defensively this year as Giannis. But Anthony Davis carries a lot of the load defensively for the Lakers. He guards 1 through 5 again, but he protects the rim for them along with JaVale and Dwight. But yeah, my defensive player of the year pick is Anthony Davis.
Yeah, just before we move on, I've got to say, I feel like I'm going to be called out for robbery here. That third one, really tough for me. Ben Simmons, as you said, leader in steals. And I feel like I should have put him in. But Bam Adebayo, he's progressed, obviously, and he's been a great defender. He's held Giannis to 8 points and then held him to terrible shooting in the other game against Milwaukee. But yeah, just to clear that up, I may be a bit biased. I think now I have a look at it, I think Ben Simmons did deserve to be the third, but nonetheless, Bam's a great player. Now,
your top 3 MVP, Don?
Yes, so this is it. The top 3 MVP. I've got James Harden, I've got LeBron James, and I've got Giannis. And the winner, geez, this is really hard. I still a bit indecisive, but I think I'm going to give it to Giannis. A tough choice for me. I know you'll disagree, but he's an absolute monster out there. Obviously still needs to become a better shooter, but he's already proved himself, and he's still got many years to come. So for that reason, I've got Giannis as the MVP.
My top 3 is Giannis, LeBron, and then the third one, obviously Giannis and LeBron, but the third one was a bit of a toss-up between a lot of players. But I gave it to James Harden just like you did. I think there are a lot of players in the league that could contend for that spot. But my winner, you said I wouldn't agree with you, but I am going with Giannis. I think obviously with the season being stopped in halfway through, or just over halfway through, I think that's really working in Giannis's favor. I've said before on the podcast that I think LeBron would have won it if the season continued, because he'd just come off beating Kawhi and beating Giannis, and then Giannis had gotten injured and was meant to miss, I think, around 20 games. So I think LeBron could have definitely crawled his way back into that conversation, and I think he would have won it. But uh, as we all know, those don't count. So I think I've got Giannis winning that one.
So that does it for the awards. Now we'll move to the All NBA first team, or third team rather. We'll go from 3 to 1. So on the All NBA third team, I have Trae Young, Russell Westbrook, Jimmy Butler, Pascal Siakam, and Bam Adebayo.
I've got shout outs to Trae Young, Kawhi, and Bradley Beal. I think all three of them have done very well this season. They're all scoring well, but Kawhi, I think, has missed a fair few games, so he doesn't quite make it for mine. But my third team is Chris Paul, Ben Simmons, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, and Bam Adebayo.
Okay, yeah, I like that team as well. The All NBA second team. Now, I did just change one of them recently, and I did have Chris Paul in there, but I'm sorry, Chris, I love you, but you didn't make it for mine. Possibly sliding into that third team instead of Trae Young now that I have a look at it. But for the second team, I've got Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid.
Interesting one. My team is, I think I've only got one or two of the same ones. I've got Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, Jimmy Butler, Pascal Siakam, and Nikola Jokic. I think Lillard was the most interesting one. I thought he was really close to getting into the first team, but obviously his team hasn't had the success that people had predicted before the season started, so he's on the second team.
Absolutely. Now, the All-NBA first team, I think our teams will start to line up here apart from the center position. James Harden, Luka Doncic, LeBron, Giannis, and Jokic for mine.
I've got Luka Doncic, James Harden, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Giannis and Anthony Davis. I think they've said Anthony Davis is a forward and center, as well as saying that LeBron is a guard and forward. So I think Anthony Davis has had a better season than Jokic, in my opinion. The one that I was the most confused about was the Luka one. I think he's missed just as many games as Kawhi, and I didn't have Kawhi in any of the teams. But I think Luka, he's been very, very good all season. And before his injury, he was actually a top 3 MVP candidate and probably winning it, averaging at almost a 30-point triple-double. So
yeah,
gets into the first team. I'm thinking maybe I've got him a little bit too high, but it is what it is, I guess.
So that's the awards segment of the show. Now we move to some headlines. I heard Xavier wanted to ask me, and I don't know what he's about to ask me, so this is just straight off the cuff.
This is over, I think, a few months, so just stop me if you want to go deeper in any of these. There's been reports of Greg Popovich going to the Nets. Do you want to talk about that one?
It's a bit interesting. I can't see him going there. Oh, I don't know. I just don't see him leaving San Antonio. He's been there for a long period of time, and I think he'll continue his career there until his retirement.
Yeah, I agree. Mike Scott and Jaylen Brown reportedly weren't happy with the choices of words you can put on the jerseys.
Okay. Sorry, just to stop you there. Did you say Jimmy Butler as well? I don't know if you had that. You request. Oh, sorry. Was it Jimmy Butler who had his? You requested
to put nothing on. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? I'll just ask you that while we're on the topic.
I think they should pretty much be able to put on whatever they want. Obviously, no profanity or anything like that. But yeah. I don't really see a problem with putting nothing on it.
Yeah, I think that's a bigger statement, but yeah, it would be interesting what everyone wear on the jersey. I think, have they announced that yet?
Pardon?
Have they announced where on the jersey it's going to be?
I think it's just in replace of the name. So.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I just wasn't 100% sure.
Bradley Beal and Oladipo have both not travelled, or Oladipo has travelled to the bubble now, but Bradley Beal hasn't. They're both serious players and have both been all-stars in the past. Do you think it's an issue for the NBA with players opting out?
I think Bradley Beal kind of has a reasonable case because the Wizards, not only are they far out of the playoffs, they still have 8 games to play, and I don't think they have the lineup to get past the first round. So I think Bradley Beal's fair. Oladipo, Bit confused about it. I think he could join that Pacers team and help them, but yeah,
Yeah, I think he said he's going to be playing in the scrimmage matches, which was a bit weird. I thought, obviously, he's opted out already, and
yeah,
now it seems like he's going to opt back in. But I
yeah.
guess we'll wait and see.
We'll have to get
Um,
that. So.
the Brooklyn Nets have about 7 players that have said they're not going to come back. Karis LeVert, I think, is going to average more than 25 points. I've said this before, per 36 minutes, he's averaging 32 points a game when Kyrie and Dinwiddie both don't play. Do you think he'll average more or less than 25 points?
Um, I think more. And as we mentioned recently, as of last week, they're just trying to sign anyone they possibly can.
Mm.
So I think he'll be the main option, obviously. And I think Shaq said they'll get past the first round, I believe. So,
I don't see that happening at all. Sorry
no,
to Shaq. I love the big
I like
man, but
Russell though.
um,
Great player.
the 2K covers, they've said Zion, Kobe, and Dame will be the covers. Um, do you agree with those, or would you like to see any of them changed?
I agree with all of them except Sion. I'm a bit hesitant on just because he's played 8 games. Obviously, he's already shown he's a star. But I do think there are some players that have earned the right to be on before him. But yeah,
Yeah, I think he's a massive marketing point for the NBA, though. I think probably right for him to get on. The only issue I have with it is I'd rather see Lonzo, Mallow, and Jello on the covers as well as Kobe, obviously. That's a no from you, I guess.
no.
Uh,
No, Lonzo maybe in the future. Mallow maybe in the future, but not Jello at the
what do you
moment.
think about the designs from the covers? I thought they were a bit underwhelming. I thought some of the fan ones were better than the ones I actually did.
I did see one where it was Kobe after the 2008 NBA Finals, I believe, and he's hugging GG. I think that should be a main picture just because I love that picture. It's awesome. It shows them both, pays respect to them, and I mean, the covers aren't terrible, but yeah, I would have loved that picture to be the cover.
I do like the one of Kobe dunking with the yellow and purple in the background, but I thought the other ones were a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah.
Um, the Lakers have obviously lost Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo. I think it was Charles Barkley said that if the Portland Trailblazers make it to the finals, they'll beat the Lakers. Channing Frye, who's one of LeBron's best friends, said that the Lakers won't have answers for CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. Do you think with their loss of guards that maybe the Trailblazers hold the Trailblazers could get past them and maybe it could be an issue for them going down the line?
I think the Blazers might steal a game or two. Obviously, with Bradley out, it doesn't help their defense. Rondo, he's been kind of up and down this year. But I do see them taking a game or two, but not the full round.
Going into the playoffs, Dylan, who do you think is more important for the Lakers, LeBron or Anthony Davis?
Well, obviously, both of them to play, but I'll say LeBron. I think LeBron. You can't go past LeBron.
I think this might be a bit of a controversial statement from me. Obviously, LeBron's one of my favorite players in the league, or my favorite player in the league, period. But I think Anthony Davis is more important purely because you know what you're going to get from LeBron. You're going to get 28 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists at least.
Yeah.
But Anthony Davis is a bit of an unknown and a bit of an X factor for the Lakers. And I think, especially in the Western Conference, playing against the Rockets and his size, I think is going to have to expose the other teams a little bit. But then in the finals, going against Giannis and Brook Lopez, I think LeBron will then have to take over for sure.
Yeah.
I heard Nick Wright. He said the only time he'll be nervous about the Lakers and LeBron is if they're down double digits in an elimination game. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think he should be nervous earlier or about the right stage?
Well, they've got the perfect team at the moment, but it depends who they play. Obviously, if they get too cocky, they can, lose their state of mind, and the other team will just come from behind. But yeah, I think that's a reasonable statement. I'm just trying to think if there's any other. Obviously, with the Clippers and that depth in the West, they should definitely focus on winning the first 2 games, but then not lose the mindset. You just need to keep pushing through. So, yeah, I think there's pros and cons to that statement.
I think that's definitely too late for me. I think if they're down double digits in an elimination game, I think it's already game over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Paddy Mills and Dwight Howard will be donating all of their salary towards their respective causes. I think I just wanted to put that one out there. I'm sure you agree.
Mm.
I'm sure you think that's a good thing for
Yeah,
them.
that's awesome. That's awesome work by Paddy and Dwight. Always liked Dwight, and Paddy's an Australian, so they're close to my heart.
The new NBA courts were just unveiled today. What do you think about them?
Yeah, I did see that, and I think there was three. They put three dot points, obviously Black Lives Matter on the court, and then they had the commentary boxes with the glass in front of it, and there was the benches had seats in between them. So obviously they're keeping the social distancing because they're struggling with the virus at the moment. But yeah, the court's awesome. The design, I absolutely love it. And I'm not sure if they're using sounds yet. Have you heard anything on that?
Obviously, they were considering the 2K soundtrack, but I'm not sure if that's been confirmed or not.
Yeah.
My last point, the bubble vlogs.
Mm.
JaVale McGee, Matisse Thybulle, and Troy Daniels have all been putting out their respective vlogs. Do you like them, and have you been watching them?
I watched one of them. I haven't had a lot of time lately, but I certainly will have another look at them. I saw, who was it? Someone caught an absolute huge fish. And
I think
so,
that was Ben Simmons caught a fish, and then he
Mm.
went to throw it back in the lake, and he missed the lake. And
Yeah, yeah, that
he
was
got a
what
lot of criticism for that. Like, man can't even hit a jump shot from trying to throw a fish into a lake. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was absolutely hilarious. And, they're just having fun. I saw JaVale and Kyle Kuzma. They just have access to every water slide. So it's kind of like a free vacation for them.
I
Yeah.
know Matisse Thybulle's gone fishing. I know he was
Mm.
playing golf in his most recent one. So I reckon there's no place in the world I'd rather be than that bubble at the moment. It looks like a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. Jay Crowder caught a monstrous fish as well, I saw today. So yeah, the vlogs, they keep us interested to see what's going about and what the entertainment is. So yeah, it's funny and absolutely love it.
Can't wait to see the scratch matches as well as once the seeding sorted out. I think we're going to be posting a playoff bracket.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get that out as well. But that's all from me.
So I just wanted to say something. I think what I'm looking forward to, not the most, but one thing to watch out for, the eighth and ninth playoff.
Mm.
What do you call it? The playoff, I
The
guess.
playing tournament.
Yeah, so the eighth team will have to win one game, and then the nine will have to win two in a row. So that should be interesting to watch. I hope one of those happens, and I think if it does, it'll be in the West with the Pelicans, Trailblazers, or there's one other team I can't think of. So yeah, that'll be awesome to watch if it does happen.
I think the next stretch of games is really important for the Grizzlies because I think if the Trailblazers or the Pelicans do get in touch with them, I think they'll both teams will beat them in a play-in tournament. So I think it's important for the Grizzlies that they get some wins on the board in the next 8 games. Probably this thing I'm most looking forward to is LeBron James and seeing playoff LeBron for the first time in over a year. Hopefully he can make it to the finals and win another championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Save, anything else, or is that it?
That's it from me.
So a bit of an interesting episode. Guess we can call it the award show. But hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time.